Hi everybody, this is Nikki here. I'm going to go over the herbal tea garden and how to get that planted up perfectly so that you have high yield out of your seeds. Now, all of these seeds are pretty easy to grow if you know what you're doing. So I'm going to break them down one by one, give you some expert advice on how to plant them, and a couple of little tips that might just get you brewing your tea quicker than some of the other people. So you have to make sure you do is start with perfect soil. Now our soil discs, after you've soaked them, are going to have a perfect amount of hydration within the soil. So this here, I've got some of my soil that I pre-soaked. Take your soil, give it a little squeeze. If water comes out like that, that's too wet. And you're going to want to let that air out a little bit, break it up a little bit. You also don't want it to be too dry. If it's a powdery consistency, that's not going to work. So chamomile seeds are so tiny. It's going to be really hard to divide them out and get just a couple to plant. But it's very important. You want to make sure you keep a few seeds left over so that if the first round doesn't work, you're going to have some saved so you could start a second round. Now, once you get them divided out, make sure you soak them in room temperature water. Soak them for about 24 hours and then sprinkle right on top of the soil. You don't want to plant them too deep. That's the number one reason why chamomile doesn't sprout, is that it's too deep. So sprinkle directly on top of the soil, spritz it in, and you Who doesn't love lavender? It smells so good. Now lavender is one of the harder ones in this kit to get sprouted. One of my favorite tricks is to put it in water, some nice cool water, and put it in the fridge for a little while, maybe 6, 12, 24 hours. You want to try to replicate a fall winter season so that when you bring them back out of the fridge, they're going to say, whoa, springtime, it's time to sprout. Now, as far as planting, you want to make sure that you put it right on top of the soil as well. You don't want them to be too deep. You want them to have little to no effort to just pop right out and say, hey, it's lavender time. Water very sparingly, but make sure that the soil doesn't dry out. They like to be a little on the damp side, but not soaking wet. Lemon balm. It's one of the easiest ones to grow. Pretty much soak it for 24 hours in some room temperature water, sprinkle it on top of your soil, water every day, and it'll sprout. It's easy. You got this. I get so many emails saying, whoa, my lemon balm is huge, but my other ones are not doing anything. It's okay. Lemon balm is going to be the first one to pop up. Doesn't mean that the other ones are dead. It just means that lemon balm is a really quick sprouter. They're called like super energy seeds. They want to come out of the soil. So chances are you're going to see your lemon balm. Last but not least, you've got peppermint. Now peppermint is tricky because in nature it usually grows from aerial roots. So you've got a mother plant and it sends out little babies, and that's how mint is made in nature. Now you're going to be playing Mother Nature at home, so be patient with them. You're going to want to try to replicate that bog-like environment that they're used to out there in the great outdoors. So make sure you soak them a little bit longer than the rest of the seeds. Try it for like 24, 48, even 72 hours. It doesn't have to be hot water. Cool water is fine. Just let it soak. Now from its soaking bath, put it right into some damp soil. Make sure the soil is already damp when you put that in there. Now, my little trick to make sure that the soil stays evenly damp is put a little piece of saran wrap over the top of that pot. That's going to trap in a lot of the hydration and create more of a boggy environment, which the mint will love. One last thing. Just make sure you familiarize yourself with the back of the packet. This is going to give you a lot of information, so you're going to see how deep you want to plant them. Now in all of these, you want a depth of about 1/8 inch. You don't want them too deep. These seeds are super tiny, so they could travel through the soil if they're too deep. Also, with heavy watering, like if you have a watering can or if you're just using a water bottle, try not to have a very heavy stream of water on there. It could take these tiny seeds and disperse them all through the soil and make them even deeper than you originally planted them, which will hinder any sprouting. Now you're also going to see the germination temp. Now all of these are going to be right at 70 degrees. So room temperature is usually okay. Now keep them away from any windows with very strong drafts. That could cool off the soil, warm up the soil, both. So stay away from drafty windows. And last but not least, the sun exposure. These are all going to want at least 6 hours of pretty bright light. If you have a grow light, make sure that you don't do anything more than like 6 to 8 hours. Otherwise you're going to fry the soil, you're going to fry any sprouts. So keep that in mind when you plant. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We love hearing from you. Please check out our website at www.shopgardenrepulic.com. There you'll find our instant messenger icon where you can get in touch with us almost 24/7. Or you could find our little email button. You could send us an email. We'd love to hear from you there. Or go on over to Facebook. We have a very active growing community over there full of pictures of people's awesome plants. You'll be inspired. So we look forward to hearing from you, and happy gardening.